Howdy everybody, beautiful morning here. We're going to film coming out of Stehekin. It's a fun place to fly out of. We got calm winds today. Sun is still low on the horizon, so we really don't have any sun-heated areas. We don't have any wind, so we're not expecting to really find any artificial lift. While it's calm enough, we could go out to the north. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a downhill run to the south. Gives you a few more options, so that's the smart way to go. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to turn and do one of the most scenic flights that I know from Stehekin up to Mazama, going up to Rainey and Washington Pass on the North Cascades. So I got the cameras running and want to take you along on this trip. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. It's early in the morning, which is always key to some mountain flying. We're about 75% fuel load. We're pretty light in the cockpit though. Pre-flight checks have been done. We're going to keep it rolling here around the end. Stehekin traffic 97 Bravo departing to the southwest Stehekin. There's the run-up pad. Little obstacle there, one of the reflectors. Nothing there. Don't see anything ahead of me. A couple mosquitoes on board. Here we go. It's a little bit rough up here on the north end. Not a problem for 97 Bravo. There, we're airborne early. We'll keep it down low at ground effect. Dakota having fun. We'll get some speed on the airplane. There's my best angle. There's coming up on my best rate. I'll use that energy now to zoom up. Make a turn through the gap over here because it gives me a few more options. And now as I go over my obstacle, I'm back to my best angle climb. And I'll do that until I get an emergency landing spot. I'm going to start working my way to the left because it gives me the riverbed to go into. Got some meadows now, the river off to my right. And we're just going to keep climbing, going down river, down canyon until I can safely turn around and head back up, which at this point I can do so. I'm going to put a little energy on the airplane in the form of a little more airspeed. I don't need the flaps anymore, so they're coming off. Here comes 70, 80. There's my best rate climb. Even though I'm turning into the shadows, I can still see the hillside. You don't want to turn into a shadow that you can't see through, and especially if you don't know the terrain. And now we're just going to work our way up this canyon going north out of Stehekin. It is absolutely beautiful. Here as I go back across the top of the airfield, I've got 1,000 feet of elevation on it. Everything's looking good, and that's a nice easy departure out of Stehekin. Let's go enjoy the rest of the ride. Important during times like this, there's no roads back here, so you're always keeping sight of meadows, places with smaller vegetation, smaller trees, places you can put the airplane down if you had to and have your best chance of walking away as you land under controlled conditions dissipate as much energy as slowly as possible. Climbing through 4,500 feet. We've just been on a nice slow cruise climb, doing 90 mile an hour across the ground and cruising uphill at 300 to 500 feet a minute. Wow, what a gorgeous view ahead of us. That's our Mount Logan straight ahead. El Dorado Peak over to the left-hand side. These are topping off at over 9,000 feet. Like looking into an amphitheater here on the south flanks of Mount Logan. We're at 4,500 feet, only halfway to the peak at 9,087. We're actually going to fly straight towards it here a bit and just grab a little footage of it. I'm going to make a big sweeping left-hand turn, get some footage as we fly through the opening of this side of the mountain. Winds are calm, so I'm comfortable getting tucked up pretty close to the hillside. Here's one of those places you don't really have a horizon, so you got to look at your performance instruments a lot to figure out whether you're climbing, descending. The horizon may be out your side window, much like flying aerobatics where you're looking left and right to see where the horizon is. Now to my right, nothing but rocks, but as I look off to my left, I can see the horizon. I start to have the horizon ahead of me as well. Just beautiful. Now what we end up doing here is we'll run out to the east about 5 miles, and you'll see that we can make the left-hand turn back in towards Rainy and Washington Pass. Increase my climb rate just a bit as I get ready to go out over Washington Pass. We're only 17 miles from Mazama. It's a real quick flight out here, but just absolutely stunningly beautiful. We've got enough altitude that we're actually going to cut over just one ridge early. Winds are calm today, so I'm not as worried about clearing the ridges by a lot of excessive altitude. I'm still hugging this right-hand side though, because what it does let me do is it gives me lots of turnaround room to the left if for some reason I needed it. Lets me keep getting altitude as I continue over towards the saddle that I'm going to cross through. Keep keeping a minimum of 80 mile an hour my airplane. That gives me a good energy state that if I need to turn, maneuver, climb, I can do so. And it lets me approach that saddle, sets me up to approach that saddle on a nice oblique or about a 45-degree angle. Got the highway off to our left and to the right. Rainy Pass is right below us. Don't need any more altitude, so we'll power back, interleaned out, trim it up. 13 miles away from our next destination. Alright, we're looking for this feature, and there it is. I'm going to have to get slowed up a little bit here. We're going to make a turn around. It's almost like a hole in this sheer rock wall. I wouldn't quite call it a cave, but it looks like you took a big cookie cutter up there and you just cut a big, I don't know, 60, 80-foot circle out of the rock wall. Growing right in the middle of it, just tall and proud as can be, is this beautiful tree. We're going to fly by it close here and try to give you a view of it. Top, power comes back, down the hill we go. There's the valley floor, runway right below us. Wind shouldn't be a factor. Looking at the sun, really shouldn't be a factor either. Clear, it's all looking good.